Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And everybody, welcome in. Welcome in to a live edition of Nebraska Football Talk here on the Wilson Sports page. Exciting day to be a Nebraska fan. Let me get this off my screen here really quick. Let's get this off the screen. TJ Lateef, four-star quarterback, commits to Nebraska to play for Matt Rhule, Marcus Satterfield, Glenn Thomas, the whole deal. So in today's live edition, we're going to be talking about TJ Lateef, a bunch of the other recruiting moves by Nebraska, and then we're going to have a Q&A at the end of the live stream. We're going to talk about everything related to Nebraska football. Are you guys excited about this season? Some to talk about this offseason, whatever it is. We're going to talk about it all throughout today's live edition. So, hey guys, what up in the chat? Hope you guys are having a good night. Hopefully, we're going to do something like this almost every single week in the summer. Sunday nights talking about Nebraska football, especially for big days like this. But let's just jump into it, talking about TJ Lateef, the first storyline today. And I want to share my screen with you guys real quick here. Let's see. Here we go. All right. TJ Lateef commits to Nebraska. Again, we got, oh my goodness, no. Hold on. I bookmarked the wrong thing. Here we go. This is what I wanted. All right, TJ Lateef commits to Nebraska. It was literally at like 12 Central today. Basically the exact time that I posted another video. I was talking about Nebraska recruiting. I was talking about in-state recruiting like Christian Jones, Chase Lofton, all those other guys. And right when I posted that video, I got the news that TJ Lateef committed, so I rushed down here to record a second video about TJ Lateef. But yeah, let's just roll through this article real quick. And right at the bat, before we talk about this article and what this entails, a lot of people are not as excited as they should be about TJ Lateef, and I want to get to that. And maybe you guys can talk about that a little bit in the comment section. But man, TJ Lateef's a big addition. He is a big addition for Nebraska. And a lot of people are saying, oh, it doesn't matter because Dylan Raiola the quarterback. Oh, it doesn't matter because of the transfer portal. And they're playing this off like, oh, TJ Lateef will never play here. Is that a chance? Yes. However, that's a chance for every single player that Nebraska has ever had committed to them in the past, right? Yeah, there's a chance that a guy does not commit, or excuse me, a guy does not stay for the long haul. So, yeah, that could happen. But in reality, here's what's going to happen with TJ Lateef. Okay, TJ Lateef is going to be developed here for 1, 2, 3 years. Okay, and then once Dylan Raiola goes to the NFL, again, he's going to step in there. He knows what he's getting into, right? He does not expect to, start immediately like some other dudes. So let's get into the comment section real quick about TJ Lateef before I get back to this article. And real quick, let me know, guys, if the stream's laggy a little bit. I'm trying something new today, so make sure to put that down in the comment section. Let's see. All right. So jumping in the comment section here. Who is the next domino to fall? Let me get to this real quick by Eddie. Yeah, that's a good question. That's a really good question. There's a couple guys in Nebraska going after. Of course, this is a big weekend. Broderick Scholl is on campus, 5-star offensive lineman. Of course, David Sanders, #1 offensive lineman in the country, was also on campus. So those guys Nebraska is absolutely going after. We'll see if they can land them. But, man, it's going to be a wild summer. I have no idea, man. That's the fun thing about recruiting. What's up, Andrew? How did Sanders' visit go? David Sanders? Yeah, so what it looks like his visit went really well. He basically went through the whole package that Nebraska normally does. They basically do this like cooking thing where his parents come on campus, he comes on campus, and he cooks a meal with them. So that's the only thing I've really heard. David Benning was there, and he tweeted out a picture of David Sanders having a good time. So looks like it went well, but that's a tough guy to land. Not going to lie, watch TJ play Modern Day, and they got spanked, says Alejandro. Well, Modern Day is the best high school squad in the country. So, again, that doesn't really that doesn't make me nervous at all about TJ Lateef. I watched a lot of TJ Lateef film over the last couple hours, over the last couple weeks, man, and he is just clutch. He's one of those clutch players in all of high school football. Again, his team is not that good. You need to take that into account. He's playing these top-tier California teams like Modern Day. So, yeah. But let's go back to this article real quick. I'll go back to the comment section, guys. Do not worry. But I want to show you guys this. Again, make sure to drop in the comment section below if the stream's laggy at all. Again, I'm trying something new. But yeah, TJ Lateef. So this is one thing that really stood out to me about Latif. He says, I feel like a priority. Time and time again, that's what he says about Nebraska, that he feels like a priority. That Matt Rhule, that Marcus Satterfield, they're constantly in communication with him. And that's really a common theme that you see not only with him, but a lot of the other guys who've been committing to Nebraska. But he says, and I quote, I feel like a priority for them, and that meant a lot to me. Nebraska is somewhere I can live and my parents are comfortable knowing I'll be out there playing the game I love. But if football doesn't work out professionally, it's still a place where you can set up for life with just how much Husker Nation powers into that team in that city. It's an incredible culture. He gets it. He gets it. And he is everything that Matt Rhule looks for from a recruit. He understands that, hey, if football doesn't work out, if my knee gets blown up, or I'm just not as good as I think I'm going to be, right? Lincoln's still the place to be. It's still a place where I can thrive. I'm still going to get a world-class education. This is the type of stuff that you look for from 4-star, 3-star quarterbacks that you want to be on your team going forward. So I was pumped up about that. Again, going on to this part of it, they say Colorado, Ole Miss were in the mix for him. Again, not really. Again, 24/7 is just saying that. TJ Lateef, like I said in my video today, like I said in past videos about him, he only went on a visit to Nebraska. He didn't go anywhere else in the country. I mean, yeah, he was on Colorado for an unofficial visit, but he decided, hey, the only place I'm going to take an official is Nebraska. And then after that, he decided to tie the knot. So, again, Colorado, I guess, was in the mix, but not really, guys. Not really. Nebraska locked him down, man. And yeah, you look at the stats here. Look at this. About 2,000 yards, throwing the football, 13 touchdowns. So, again, he's a pro-style quarterback. I try to say that to everybody going forward. He's a pro-style quarterback. He's not a guy who's really a run-first Jeff Sims type player. I know somebody dropped Jeff Sims' name in the comment section. We had a whole discussion about Jeff Sims last live. He's not a Jeff Sims. He's more of a passing pro-style type of guy, but he still can make you miss. He can still get outside the pocket, make the play, outside of the O-line. So that's what really makes him special. He's a little bit of that Patrick Mahomes type of mold of quarterback, where Patrick Mahomes, he's not a run-first guy, but yeah, he can absolutely get outside the pocket, make something happen. So that's what I love about TJ Lateef. And again, we'll talk more about him as the week goes on. But let's get in the comment section talking about TJ Lateef, what you guys had to say about him. Were you excited? I was pumped. I was pumped. Yeah, let's get into this. Here we go. Accent. Shout out my man Accent. He says, Cortez Mills keeps interacting with official visitors from the spring game, and Michael Terry keeps liking Husker stuff on Twitter. Yeah, if you guys don't know Accent, he's my recruiting guy. Me and him all the time chopping it up on Twitter. But yeah, Cortez Mills, man, that would be a huge addition. 6'4", just go up and get it. And Michael Terry, I talked about this in my video today as well. Michael Terry and TJ Lateef are super tight-knit. Obviously, one's from Texas, one's from California. But when they were on campus for the spring game, they were hanging out the entire time. They're taking pictures together. They were off of campus hanging out. So, again, I talked about peer recruiting. That's somebody that you hope TJ Lateef can peer recruit to Nebraska. And right now, guys, I think that Michael Terry, it's looking good. He has a couple other videos that he's going to go on, but it's looking really good, man. So I'm pumped about that. Jake says, Jeff Sims is confirmed going to Arizona State. Yeah, again, we talked about that last live. Yep. All around says, you're awesome, man. Hey, appreciate that, dude. Appreciate that a lot. Accent says, Orange Lutheran has one good lineman. Of course, they got spanked. Yeah, again, Orange Lutheran is not a very good school. Again, they're in Orange County, basically L.A. I think they went like about 500 last year. And they played the best town in all of California. They're playing the Mater Dei. They're playing the Boscos of the world. So the teams that are winning the the California State titles. So, yeah. Good thing we were not in TJ's top 6 and we were able to sneak in and steal them away. Yeah, so that's a really good point. That was actually something I was going to talk about. Thanks for reminding me, Alejandro. But about TJ Lateef, he actually had a top 7 he released. I want to say it was in January, and it was, had a bunch of schools on there. Arizona, I think Cal was on there. Again, he had his top 7 schools. Nebraska was not on there. Nebraska actually offered this guy, I believe, late January, early February, and it reinforces the fact to me that those top lists that you see players make, they're irrelevant. Especially, a year before they actually signed. they're irrelevant. Nobody respects them when they or respects the list. Excuse me, right? That didn't stop Nebraska from getting in there. But yeah, it was a good thing. Like, nobody was expecting Nebraska. They offered him. They got him on a visit. Boom. Kind of just came out of nowhere in the process. But again, a lot of people like to overreact about those top lists. They don't really mean anything. A lot of times schools don't care. They continue to contact the guy even after that top list is out. So, yep. Justin, what's up, my man? Everybody, if you're not subbed to Justin, again, one of the best in the business when it comes to Nebraska football content. You know what, Justin? Hold on. Justin, I'm going to give you mod. I just gave you mod, my man. But shout out to Justin, guys. He's actually making a video about TJ Lateef. It's dropping tomorrow, so make sure to sub to him if you have not already. Let's go down here. Oh, my goodness. I missed some. All right. Colorado fans are hating, dude. Colorado fans, man. They're nuts. They're absolutely nuts. I do this game when I'm on Twitter, and I want you guys to do this as well. When you see a Colorado fan, go to their profile and see when their profile was created. And if it was created past December 2022, they're a bandwagon. They're a Deion fan. And almost every single one of them were made about that time, about 2023, about 2022 late when Deion was hired. Again, being a bandwagon's one thing. When you're rooting for Bama, you're rooting for Ohio State, and they're winning natties or they're winning Big Ten titles. Bandwagoning a team that went 4-8 last season, that's a completely different thing. That's embarrassing. Could not be me, man. Could not be me. Eddie says, so the plan for Latif is to sit 2 years while Raiola thrives and presumably leaves after year 3. Yeah, that's absolutely the plan. Now, to be completely fair, we all assume that Dylan Raiola is going to be a 3-year starting quarterback. Okay? Maybe he transfers. Maybe he isn't as good as we project him to be. Okay? I obviously don't think that will happen. I don't root on that happening, but there's always a possibility that, yeah, maybe he does transfer out. Yeah, maybe he isn't as good as we think he is. So, yeah, that's probably what's going to happen, but there is a chance where, for example, TJ Lateef plays a little bit earlier or maybe even beats Dylan Raiola out. But, yeah, ideally that's your scenario where he basically plays going into his 3rd year of college, and I think he understands that. Justin says, it was a huge get. Love the mindset of wanting to come and compete. That's confidence. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. I completely agree. And that's the thing about quarterbacks that you look for. You don't want quarterbacks to shy away from that competition. You want them to get in immediately, go and try to win the job no matter who's there, no matter who's in that room. And we need a quarterback. And I think, again, a lot of the fans who say, oh, we don't need a quarterback, they don't understand college football recruiting. Alabama, for example, they get a top 5, or a 5-star quarterback every single recruiting class. Okay, and then they get one the next recruiting class. Their fans never say, oh, we don't need to get a quarterback this recruiting class because we got one last. They never say that. You get a stud every single class. That's how it works in college football. Yeah, man. Yep. Let's see. Oh man, they're talking about rain. He said it rained in Texas. It's about to rain here in Nebraska, man. Jake says, TJ only visited Lincoln, nowhere else. Wow. Yeah, I mean, okay. Yes, he visited Colorado unofficially. I believe he might have went, Arizona unofficially, right? He's been being recruited for about 3-4 years now. But the only place where he went on an official visit to was Nebraska. He never scheduled anywhere else. He never had any interest anywhere else. So, yeah. Yup. Oh, man, you guys are flooding the comment section. Here we go. Let's see. Did you see Dayton's film from the Buford scrimmage? I did not. You have to DM that to me on Twitter right now, Accent. We might get to that later down the line. But yeah, Dayton Raiola, dude, I've seen a little bit of bits and pieces from him this offseason. He's looking really, really improved. A lot of times he's looking slimmer too. I want to say that about Dayton Raiola. He was kind of a bigger quarterback, bigger in a good way, right? Pretty strong. He's kind of slimming out a little bit. He's looking a little bit like his brother. So, yeah, definitely this has been a big offseason for him. And I know he talked about this in an interview Dayton Raiola did, how this is such a big offseason for him because he's trying to win the job for Buford. Buford he's not locked in that starting quarterback role, so he's trying to win it. So we'll see what happens there. Samuel says, exactly true. Colorado, Nebraska looking good for a prime time night game. It will be a bloodbath. I can't wait. Dude, I'm excited. I hope we get a night game. That would be huge. That would be huge. I got people contacting me because I got season tickets for Nebraska, and they want basically to buy those tickets off me, or they want me to give them to them. And I'm saying no way, because me and my dad go to almost every single one of the games, and yeah, that's gonna be a huge game. Hopefully, we need the win, man. Gosh, I hate Colorado so much. We need that. I will be devastated. Give me a night game. We got screwed from night games last year, man. Dayton or Latif, who's better? Oh, TJ Lateef is better. As of right now, it's not even close. Not even close. TJ Lateef is the better prospect. Now, to be completely fair, TJ Lateef is 1 year older, and he's more far along in the development process. Dayton Raiola is still a raw prospect. Okay, Dayton Raiola only has a couple offers. I believe Tulane's in the mix for him. I think he has one other, Charlotte, I think, as well. I think he has 2 other offers besides us. So, again, he's going to be a good prospect, but he's a little bit of a late bloomer. TJ Lateef has been recruited for a while now. So, as of right now, Lateef is better. It's on Dayton's Twitter. Okay, yeah. Yeah, we might have to get to that, man. We might have to get to that. Yeah, Dayton is not 2025, it's 2026. So, again, we're still going to probably land Dayton Raiola if we want him. He looks a little slimmed up. Yeah, exactly what I said. Yeah, he looks slimmer, man. He looks like he's been in the gym a little bit. That's a good thing. Kind of getting that, a lot of times when you're going in high school, you get that bad weight off you just naturally. So, yeah. Yeah, Charlotte. Okay, accent corrected me. Yep, Charlotte and Appalachian State. Yep, 2 offers. New Charlotte was in there. I couldn't remember if it was Tulane or App State. So, yeah, again, he only has 2 offers, right? Not to, crap all over him. A lot of times quarterbacks going into their junior high school already have 10, 15 offers. So, he's not a 5-star prospect like his brother. Okay, I know there's this narrative that Dayton might be better than Dylan. I don't think that's going to be the case, but Dayton's still going to be a heck of a prospect. And again, we're going to talk about him throughout this summer. But yeah, let's get back to TJ Lateef here before we get into the next section. Ohio State just got 5-star St. Clair in the 2025 class after getting Julian Sain and Aaron Noland to go along with Will Howard and Devin Brown. Yeah, bro. Yeah, Ohio State, dude, they got a great quarterback room. I selfishly think that Aaron Noland might enter the portal because I don't think he's going to win the job, and that kid is a stud. I think Julian Sain and Will Howard are better than him. But yeah, Justin says I'll be there. Yeah, dude, that Colorado game, it's gonna be nuts, dude. It's gonna be. Whoo! We deserve a night game. We have not had a real hyped up night game at Memorial Stadium, I believe, since Michigan. The Michigan game. Oh my gosh, I cannot talk. The Michigan game in 2021. That was the last really hyped up game. Man, it was a sellout among all sellouts. It was so loud. Man, I was devastated. I was sitting there in my section after we lost that one. Just could not believe it. But yeah, that was a tough loss. So it's literally been about 3 years since we had a real night game that actually had some hype behind it. So hopefully the schedule makers give us that. I think they'll probably announce that schedule around June of those first couple week games. I think June we'll start to see what happens there. And you know that Dion gets ratings, by the way. So I think we will get a night game there. All right, we're starting to talk about more recruiting. So this is going to bring me to my second section here. Let's just talk about recruiting in general, guys. Talk about recruiting in general. GRF, says, Rhule is reestablishing Nebraska as a player in big-time recruiting. He was recruiting the best players Nebraska has to offer and going back to Texas and California, even Florida. Go Big Red. Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head, but I'm going to say this about recruiting. Okay, you have got to win in order for your recruiting to be consistent because this is how recruiting works. Okay, within the first, let's say, 2 years of a coaching tenure, you can basically recruit whoever you want because you can still sell a vision to a lot of these guys. Oh, we're rebuilding the program, this, that, and the third. Okay, but after those 2 years, results speak for themselves. Okay, if Matt Rhule was going into his 3rd year, or let's say even going into his 4th year, and he's only won 3, 4, 5, 6 games a season, Dylan Raiola would have not committed here. The reason why he committed here is because he still buys into that vision that Matt Rhule is selling him. So, yeah, the recruiting looks really good right now. We're trying to capitalize, get a top 15, even a top 10 class. But if we go out there and win 6 games this season, it doesn't matter. It seriously doesn't matter at all because it's going to go back to being garbage. And that's exactly what happened in the Scott Frost regime. Scott Frost actually wasn't that bad of a recruiter. specifically in Florida. He did a really good job. But here's the thing about Scott Frost is that he couldn't sell a vision after his third, fourth year, and the recruiting just dropped off. We couldn't even land a 4-star. The 2022 class was one of the worst we've ever seen in the history of Nebraska. So, yeah, I mean, we've just got to win. It all goes back to winning, folks. Scott says, Nebraska fans need to understand that if we want to compete with the top-tier teams, we need to start stacking 4-star recruit quarterbacks like they do. Yes, exactly. And this is what I said even when we had some past quarterback commits. Like I said this when Harburg committed, when Richard Torres committed, some guys in the past, far before I was making YouTube videos. But I didn't like those additions because they weren't going to move the needle. They weren't really game-breaking players. Every single team in contention has a top-tier quarterback. Let's look at the college football playoff, guys, from last year. Bama, one of the best quarterbacks in the country, Jalen Milroe. Michigan, J.J. McCarthy, he was a first-round draft pick. Washington, Michael Penix, he's a first-round draft pick. And then Texas, Quinn Ewers, he's going to be a first-round draft pick. So, get every single good team in college football, they have a top-tier quarterback. Again, we can't compete with average. Okay, we can't have average. You got to get those 4 stars. You got to get those 5 stars. Matt Rhule needs to understand that, and he's doing a good job. And that's why I go back to even the Dylan Raiola conversation, because we had Daniel Kalen as our commit. And Matt Rhule could have easily said, hey, I'm just going to roll Daniel Kalen. I'm not going to take Dylan Raiola. But he understands in order to be a successful program, you need an elite quarterback. So he's going to stack them on. So, yeah. Accent says, Dylan has actually said Dayton is further ahead than Dylan was. I don't know if I should believe that, but the film looked decent. Listen, Accent. Dylan's just hyping his brother up. And it's the same thing I talk about when it comes to coach speak. Like, when Matt Rhule's talking in a press conference, he's hyping up all these random players. And you have to sift through the information to find out what's really true. Dylan's just hyping his boy up. But no, Dayton is not better than Dylan was when Dylan was going into his junior campaign. When Dylan was going into his junior campaign, he was listed as the number 1 player in the country. Dayton Raiola, I don't even think Dayton's a 4-star. I don't even know if he's ranked right now. So, yeah. Yep. Nobody's beating Nebraska in 2024. Nobody. Go Big Red. I hope so, dog. I hope so. TJ seems really humble. I'm excited. I hope you're right, man. I really do. Yeah, he seems humble, and he seems like he's bought into the competition aspect that's very important for a quarterback. I hope you're right. Judy says, after this year, Ohio State is going to have to battle to get all the 5 stars. Well, it depends on if Ohio State gets back to where they need to be, right? If Ohio State continues to lose to Michigan, yeah, they're going to probably have less success in the recruiting sphere. Eddie says, night game on NBC is what's rumored for the Colorado-Nebraska game. That could be the case. I believe Fox might have the rights for that game, though. I always thought that it was going to be a night game on Fox. I could be wrong. It could be night game on NBC. Michigan, unfortunately, will still be the team to beat. Alex Orji looked really good in the spring game. Yeah, he's a stud. He's going to be really good. He's going to be great, man. Michigan, they're just really well built. I love their new head coach. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Sharon Moore. Man, he's going to be a stud for them. He's going to be just as good as Harbaugh was. Alejandro says, I heard Scott Frost burnt a lot of bridges with recruits. With that being said, how many of those kids do you think Rhule has had to talk back into coming for a visit, repair that relationship? Well, Scott Frost has been gone for about 2 years now, so I don't think that's really been the case with any of the recruits necessarily. However, Matt Rhule has had to rebuild relationships with the high school coaches. That's the real burnt bridge. Okay, specifically in Omaha, right? Again, if you're not familiar with me outside of, my YouTube channel, I follow Nebraska high school sports a lot. And Scott Frost burnt so many bridges with some of the top tier high school coaches inside Nebraska, where literally they would tell their kids, do not go to Nebraska because 1, you're not going to be developed, and 2, you're not going to win. So that's what Matt Rhule's been really trying to focus on, repairing those relationships with those high schools, with those coaches. He's doing a really good job. Like, again, I go to Miller South High. If you don't know that, you see the helmet back there. I'm graduating in about a week. And Nebraska staff, they're constantly at Millard South. I'll bump into Ed Foley. I'll see him in the hallway. I'll see some, Marcus Satterfield time and time again because they're coming to Millard South to recruit Chase Lofton, right? Or some other Millard South guys. They're consistently in Omaha. They're trying to repair those relationships. So, again, they do a really good job. I also think Matt Rhule was at Millard South like a month ago, but I fortunately didn't see him. I would have asked him to come on the channel. Twinkie says, thoughts on Mangum? So, yeah, Mangum, the transfer from Michigan State. We'll see what happens. He's actually visiting tomorrow. He's currently, I believe, on Ohio State's campus right now. That's going to be a hard guy to get. Really, really hard guy to get. That's one of the best transfers in the country right now. I don't know if you guys remember him, but when we played Michigan State last year, that dude was consistently balling out, making plays. Like, that dude is a really good ball player. So I think he's a really good, really stud, or a really big stud. Do I think we land him? No, I really don't. It's unfortunate, but when you're in the mix with Ohio State and Michigan, specifically because of the fact that he's a Michigan kid, I think he's going to commit to the Wolverines. Judy says, if we can get that number one tackle, it'll be a whole lot easier to get more big gets. I agree, but man, that number one guy, that's going to be a hard get. Do not underestimate that. I don't think we'll land him. But just the fact that we got him on campus is a good thing, in my opinion. Is Dayton going to be a sophomore or junior? Yeah, he's going to be a junior. He's class of 2026. Callahan said he heard CBS. Yeah, I don't know what that's going to be on for the Colorado game. Again, CBS, Fox, NBC, the whole structure around the Big Ten media rights deal is still up in the air. I have no idea. Again, I would have assumed it'd be on it'd be on Fox, but I don't know. I hope it's a night game. I don't care what TV site it's on. I don't care what channel. I just care if it's a night game, man, because I'm going to be at that one. Again, let me know down below, guys. Do you guys go to the Nebraska football games? I'm almost at every single home game, so I'm expecting to bump into a couple of you guys this fall. I'm a Nebraska fan living in Boulder. I will be in Lincoln for the NU versus CU game. I hope Nebraska wins 70-0. Rhule as class. I hope he shows no mercy. Yeah, I completely agree, dude. I completely agree. And I said that in my Colorado video about a week ago. Like, even if we're up big, I want to keep running up the score. Just because of the fact that Deion, he's talked so much crap about Nebraska. He's not run his program the right way. He's not a good influence on college football. Yeah, we really need to take it to him. Eddie, thank you for your comment, Eddie. He says, Fox has a big new kickoff for week 2 per Husker Online. NBC is trying to get the CU Nebraska game. That could change, though. Yeah, I knew that they already had a big noon kickoff game lined up. That's basically their primetime game, is that 11 o'clock kickoff. But I feel like Fox still had rights for that game, but I guess it's a bidding war. And I think that's what it is with the non-conference games. I think it's a bidding war for who wants that game. So yeah, NBC, I guess CBS probably will be in the mix as well. Jake says, I try to go to at least one game. Andrew says he does not go to games. Yeah, again, it really depends. I like to ask people that whether or not they actually go to the games. Like Accent here, he says, I prefer watching on Macau, to be honest, because better views for plus elite announcers. Yeah, I agree. It really depends on the game for me. Really depends on the game. Like, I try to go to every single home game early in the year when the weather's super nice, when we're playing bum teams, because it's going to be super fun. It's going to be a good time. We're going to get the win. Now, later down the line, when it starts to get super cold and we're playing, the Ohio States of the world, and we're going to get blown out, then I might not go to that game. But yeah, usually I go to almost every single one just because I love the atmosphere. I love being there. Like, I love college football, and usually when we have away football games, I'm sitting here, over here to my left-hand side. I have TV. I have 2 monitors. I watch a bunch of games on those. But, and I love that experience. I love watching every single college football game that I can. But actually going to those games, man, it's different. It is different being around Husker Nation. I watch games from home because the food is free and there's no bathroom lines. You're darn right there aren't. Yeah, that's the worst thing about Memorial Stadium. Those the stadium's kind of falling apart a little bit. It's falling apart. The bathrooms are not great. The concessions are not great. Yeah. Again, it changes for every person. Justin says, I have 7 uncles and an aunt from Ashland, Nebraska. My cousin is a season ticket holder, so I fly out at least once per year. Yeah, I think mostly people say that they only go to about 1, maybe 2 games a year, which is all right. Again, most of the people that go to games are from Lincoln, or from Omaha. But a lot of people online, they really don't go to the games, at least consistently. Shout out to my dad. He says, loudest game I've ever been to is 94 Colorado. Need that crowd to be unruly this year. Yeah, dude, it's going to be awesome. So me and my dad go to almost every single one of the home games, and we sit now in the north end zone. And I love the north end zone. We used to sit, my grandpa had seats, and they used to be basically in the club level. And those are super nice. They're basically right at the 40-yard line. And those are great seats and all. But I love being in that end zone because that's where everybody's around you, super tight knit. I like that maybe as a kid, as a teenager. Maybe when I get in my 40s, 50s, yeah, it'll be harder to go to the games. But yeah, I really want to take advantage of it right now because I love them. I love going to the games, and I love being around a loud atmosphere. I'm out there screaming, I lose my voice going to them, man. I get so into it because it's life or death, dude. That's why I love college football. It's all about those bragging rights, man. Cody says, quarterback news plus baseball wins makes for a great Husker day. Hope y'all got something nice to do for your Mother's Day. Absolutely, man. Had a good one. Yeah, baseball, dude. I wonder if I made a baseball video on this channel, how it would go. Probably not good. I tried to make some Nebraska basketball content this year, and it really didn't do that great. But Nebraska baseball, dude, they're so inconsistent. That's the problem, right? Obviously, had a stinker game on Friday, then won 2 in a row on Saturday and Sunday. They have got to basically sweep next week. They've got to sweep Michigan State, and hopefully they can make a run in regionals. Haven't really even been keeping up with the regionals. I don't know if they can win, or excuse me, I don't even know if they can make the regionals without winning the Big Ten tournament. So they got to make a run of the Big Ten tournament. That's all I know. Jake says the bathrooms in the stadium are terrible. I'm going to tell you this. So I went with some buddies to the Iowa game this year, last game of the season. It was probably 20 degrees outside. Thanksgiving was the day before. It kind of happened. There was food poisoning in that turkey. So you can imagine me, 20 degrees at the stadium, trying to get to those bathrooms was terrible, dude. Yeah, those bathrooms are awful, bro. Awful, awful, awful. Unless you have club seats, then you're living the nice life. Judy says, there's no reason we can't win more than 6 games easily. Oh, I completely agree. But that's the exact same thing we've been saying the last couple years, the last 5 years, last 6 years. Our schedule is super easy. Will we take advantage of it? Discussion for another day, perhaps. I haven't been to a Nebraska football game since 2013. 2013. That was a pretty good year. I remember that year pretty well because I went to a football game that year, and it was Nebraska versus Northwestern. I don't know if you guys remember that one. Jordan Westerkamp, Hail Mary, last play of the game. And I think that's probably what sold me to go to as many Nebraska football games as possible, because that experience of seeing a Hail Mary at Memorial Stadium and the crowd go absolutely ballistic, you can't beat it. And yeah, it's fun, in my opinion, to watch that on TV. And I have no problem watching on TV, but nah, I just love the stadium. I love the stadium. Yeah, 2013, that was a good year. It was a good year. Pelini was the coach that year. Yep. Accent says, wouldn't be worth it. Team is hot, cold. For Nebraska football? I assume we're talking about Nebraska football. Wouldn't it be worth it to go to Nebraska football games? I just like the experience, to be completely honest with you. Accent says they're still projected a 2-3 seed as of today. Doesn't technically have to sweep, but yeah. Okay, so that's good. So they can make regionals without winning the Big Ten tourney. That's awesome. Yeah, we might have to talk about Nebraska baseball getting into regionals. We might have to talk about that, because I follow Nebraska baseball. I don't really watch the games. I follow them, their statistics. I follow them online, see what's going on. But once we get to regional season, I'm dialed in, man. I'm watching all those games. I'm into it. Judy says, comparing Frost and Rhule is like comparing apples to oranges. That's completely right. It's completely right. Michael says, I think this kid is the perfect steal that Raiola sharpens himself against. Yeah, I completely I completely agree. Steal. Yeah, steal the medal. Yeah, hopefully that's the way Raiola takes it, that he doesn't take it like it's competition, like it's a shot at him. Iron sharpens iron, man. And hopefully TJ Lateef learns from Dylan Raiola. He learns from Daniel Kalen to become the best version of himself. That's what I hope happens. Frank says, I'll be up from Tampa for the Colorado game. Can't wait. Yeah, dude, that is going to be an awesome game. I'm so excited. Like, I'm going to be at that UTEP game week 1, but my eyes are on that week 2 game against Colorado, dude. That's going to be fantastic. I hope it's a night game. The only bad thing about night games is going back home. You know, you get back home. Like, I'm from Omaha, so I get home at like 12 a.m., but just the atmosphere, the light show, everybody's so pumped up, dude. It's going to be rowdy as heck. Woo! I'm so excited. I'm getting chills just talking about it right now on live, man. So, yeah, guys, if any of you guys go to that Colorado game, man, and you see me, make sure to hit me up. Accent says, I don't think the baseball team is good enough to make a run. Pitching depth is a massive problem. Oh, I completely agree. Completely agree. Like, this baseball team, it's just been wildly inconsistent. Now, I am on the Will Bolt fire train. I just think he's not doing enough to ensure his job. And I think if Trev Alberts was here, he would already be fired. He'd already be gone. But this is going to be a big month for Will Bolt to try to keep his job. I think he's going to keep it regardless because Troy Dan's not trying to fire a guy within his first 2 months on campus. Accent says, I keep up with every game and go in person too. They have pieces, but I don't know, man. I don't think they're deep enough. Oh, okay, you go to some baseball games. Yeah, at the park. Okay. Yeah, I haven't been to a Nebraska baseball game in a very long time. I think I've only been once, maybe twice in my life. But yeah, I keep up with almost every single game, just online. Like, I don't watch. I don't have Big Ten Plus, but I'm following them on the radio and on social media. Mally says, I'll be up from Orlando for the Colorado game. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, dude. And that's what I love about Husker Nation, bro. I love this about Husker Nation. The fact that we got dudes who watch my channel specifically, they're in Orlando, that are in Georgia, they're in Texas, they're in AZ, they're in Cali, and all of them are coming back for this game, dude. They're all flying in. That's what I think that's so cool about Nebraska Football Nation, dude. I love that. Hey, I have a dude, he's not watching this live stream, but he always comments on my videos, and he actually watches from the Philippines, so shout out to that guy. If somehow he sees this, you're one of my favorite commenters. Not like I got favorites or anything, but definitely cool that I got a watcher in the Philippines. Justin says, I wish I could get to more games, but work and military kept me away from Nebraska. Work brought me to Arizona. Now I'm stuck. Hey, man, you could be in a very worse place than Arizona. Arizona's a very nice state. Very nice. I was actually in Arizona briefly about a week ago. I had a layover in Phoenix. I was going to text you that. It would have been funny. But they have a nice airport. Judy says, every player will be far better leaving Nebraska regardless how much time they spend on the field. Yeah, I completely agree with that. And that's something that, Matt Rhule tries to recruit to these guys, is the fact that, yeah, you're not only going to become a better football player, but you're going to become a better man. And that's something that's really, really big about Matt Rhule and something that I love about this staff. Nathan says, I'm from LA or LV. Yeah, dude. Again, that's so cool. They're just, Husker Nation's crazy. They're from everywhere. From everywhere in the country. Again, I should make a list, like tally up, some of these commenters, where they're from, and I'll see if I can get 50 states, because I know I have at least like 25 states of watchers who are from all over the country who are Nebraska fans through and through, man. And I think that's super cool. I went to a game last year where they honored Alex Gordon. Yeah, okay. Okay, the baseball game. Yeah. Yeah, those baseball games, they're fun, man. They really are. They have a good atmosphere for Nebraska baseball. Chris says, hi, go Big Red. Go Big Red, my man. Go Big Red. What a day. What a day for Nebraska football. What a day. All right, I want to do something. I want to take it to my next part of the live stream here. Let's get to the Q&A section. We've kind of already been doing the Q&A, but I want to start off this Q&A by looking at Nebraska football and what their schedule is for this year, okay? Because if you know me, I have not made a video about my, wait too early predictions about Nebraska football. And to me, I hate those videos. I really hate those videos because they are way too early. And it's way too early to really say whether or not we're going to win or lose a game. I think, to be honest with you, it's a lot of times it's lazy content. Like, there's some Nebraska football YouTubers who will basically sit there and they'll talk about the Illinois game, for example, week 4, and they'll be like, yeah, Nebraska's going to win that game because Illinois sucks, and they'll move on to the next question, right? So that's probably my least favorite video I see from Nebraska YouTubers. Of course, the favorite one I saw was from my man Justin, who made his. That one was actually a good one. But there's a lot of Nebraska football YouTubers who, in my opinion, they make too many, way too early Nebraska football predictions. It's not relevant. When you're making those videos in January, like, who's really gaining anything from that? Anyways, I said all of that to say this. I'm still going to talk about my way too early predictions right now. But let's just run through it, because this is the whole storyline this offseason. Is can Nebraska start 7-0 with this 7-0 easy stretch? And actually, I want to compare this to Nebraska 2016. Because if you're unfamiliar with Nebraska in 2016, let's look at this really quick. They had the easiest starting 7 games we've ever seen, basically. Okay, they started off with Fresno State, absolutely crushed them. Then Josh Allen in Wyoming, absolutely crushed them. Then Oregon. Oregon was actually ranked at the time, but Oregon turned out to be awful that year. I don't even believe they made a bowl game. Northwestern, terrible. Illinois, terrible. Indiana, really bad. We should not have even been in that game. We should have blew them out. And then Purdue. That was the easiest 7-game stretch. And after that 7-game stretch, I think we were ranked 6th, 7th in the country because we were 7-0. So, and I tweeted this out the other day. This 7-game stretch you're looking at right now, the 2024 schedule, this is the easiest we've seen since then. And it honestly might be easier than 2016. Okay, looking at UTEP. UTEP's a W. Colorado. I don't want to pencil Colorado in as a W because, one, they're on a 3-game winning streak against us, and we've been better than them every single year we've played them in that 3 games. And 2, I think they have talent. But with that being said, playing at the crib at Memorial Stadium with 90,000, yeah, I believe we have a better shot at winning than losing. Northern Iowa, W. Let's get out of there. Illinois. We've struggled against Illinois in the past. Brett Bielema obviously beat us first game of his entire career at Illinois. We beat him last year at Illinois, but yeah, that's a tough team, and they're going to be a lot better this year than they were last year. Then Purdue. Purdue, honestly, in my opinion, that is a game where I think we could lose. And I got crucified last live stream for saying that. But we've struggled time and time again in West Lafayette. And we are really good at losing games we have no business losing, regardless. And we had that problem with Scott Frost. We've had that problem with Matt Rhule. Okay, I love Matt Rhule, but there's something that really frustrated me last year, and he was a terrible in-game manager head coach. Okay, we lost the Michigan State game with an interim. They had an interim head coach, and they beat us. Okay, we lost to Maryland. We lost to Wisconsin, the worst Wisconsin team in 10 years, and we lost to them. And we lost to Iowa, right? All games we could have won if Matt Rhule was a better in-game head coach. So I think that we could lose that Purdue game. It's very possible. Very possible. We've struggled in West Lafayette, guys. And then Rutgers. Rutgers, I believe, has made two or three straight bowl games. Like, Greg Schiano's doing a really good job there for the Scarlet Knights. With that being said, the fact that we're playing that at home, I feel pretty decent about that. So we'll see what happens there. Let's pencil that in as a W. And then Indiana. Indiana was a mess last year. They have a brand new head coach. Their brand new head coach is really good. He's coming in from James Madison. I don't love that we're playing that at Indiana. But, again, that's another winnable game that we're probably going to be projected to win by, 6, 7, 8 points. With that being said, I could see us go 5-2 in this stretch. Heck, I could even see us go 4-3 just knowing our past. Okay, and how poorly Matt Rhule has been in the past of being an in-game manager head coach. It's possible, guys. It's possible that we lose. It's also possible that Dylan Raiola struggles in his first couple games, right? Perhaps when he plays Colorado has Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter is the best cornerback in the country, in my opinion. Okay, there is a chance that Dylan Raiola struggles. Has that freshman fatigue, might throw a pick or two. That is a possibility. I think a lot of us assume Dylan Raiola is going to be a Heisman candidate the second he steps on the field. He might struggle. So we could go 7-0. We could also go 4-3. I just want to hamper all those expectations about that starting 7, guys. But let's get back to the comment section here, what you guys are saying. about that starting 7. As we start off our Q&A, Mike says, Husker fan from West Virginia. That's a new one. West Virginia. Shout out to West Virginia. We got a couple Phoenix people in here. Scottsdale, Phoenix. Awesome, man. Let's see. All right. Nathan says, what would Nebraska be ranked if they started 7-0? Yeah, I feel like we'd be ranked around, again, we'd be top 10 for sure. We would absolutely be top 10. I'd probably say about 10 because we don't have a really good win. That's the only problem is that we don't have a good win. None of the teams we're going to be playing in those first 7 games are ranked. We beat a ranked Oregon team in 2016. That was the reason we propelled through the rankings. Now, again, we're probably going to be around that 10 ranking if we start 7-0. If we start 7-0. Again, massive if. We're not assuming things here. Jake says, I feel like we drop a game in the first 7, either Rutgers or Colorado. Yeah, I agree. Again, I got to keep putting Purdue up there too. I think West Lafayette, it's going to be a struggle, dude. Just as I have our first loss to Rutgers. Yeah, again, Rutgers is a really good team. People, you can really easily spot out casual college football fans by the way they talk about Rutgers. Because there's a lot of people, who will comment or they'll tweet stuff out about Rutgers. They'll be like, oh, Rutgers is an easy dub. Rutgers has been better than us for the last 3 years. Like, it's not even been close. Rutgers has made bowl games. Like, they're a good program, dude. They're a good program. Really, really good. Northern Iowa should not be overlooked. They could have another Hy-Vee employee Hall of Fame quarterback. Dude, that's a really good comment. That's so funny. I talk about this all the time. The most random quarterbacks have a career game against Nebraska. You will have a third-string backup quarterback come into the game, and he'll play like Peyton Manning, and then he'll never be seen again on the face of the earth. So that's a funny comment. Hey, Northern Iowa, they produce a lot of really good players from there. So they're not somebody we should overlook, but they're an FCS squad. We should run through them. I'll say this. We beat North Dakota a couple years ago in 2022. In 2022, we were so bad. North Dakota is better than Northern Iowa. So if we could beat them then, we should beat Northern Iowa now. Okay, Purdue got rated, but what you say is true. We have a clutch issue. Well, here's the thing about Purdue. Purdue was trash last year. Yeah, they had a couple guys enter the transfer portal. They had that Scorchon guy, that D-line player who went over to Texas A&M. He was basically their best guy on D, but they had a couple guys commit to them on defense too. One of the best cornerbacks in the portal went over there. I believe they still have Hudson Card. So again, they're still a pretty good team, or not pretty good team, but they're going to be competitive. I think they're going to be better than they were last year. Like they were terrible last year with a brand new head coach. So Purdue, and it's not even. The reason why I think we're going to struggle in that game is not even because I think that Purdue is going to be a competent football squad. It's just because of our history and the fact that we've struggled in West Lafayette, that Matt Rhule's not good in these type of games. I feel like it's a trap game. We talk about that all the time when it comes to NFL games. Trap games are still real in college football, so I can see us lose there. On the road, Frank says, Colorado and Rutgers are the hardest out of the first 7. I agree. Completely agree. Calic, man, this is our kryptonite. Yeah, that dude's a stud, dude. He's going to be tough for Rutgers. Purdue lost all their good players. I'm not sold on their head coach. Yeah, I mean, they lost a couple here and there. They didn't really have any good players, and they added a bunch of guys in the portal. So I still think Purdue is going to be basically just as good as they were last year. Like, they were garbage last year. It will be very hard for them to be worse than what they were in 2023. Don't give up on Husker men's basketball. Yeah, the basketball team, dude, they're a good talking point. We might make a video about them in the next couple of weeks. I'm not sold on a lot of the additions that they had in the transfer portal. Like, they had a couple okay dudes, transfer from Utah, transfer from Washington, but nothing really moves the needle. I don't think they're a better team than they were last year. So that's a talk for another day. Judy says, do you think Malcolm Coleman will show out this year? Man, I hope so, dude. I was kind of frustrated he didn't play in spring practice. Obviously, he had a surgery, I want to say December, right when the season ended. But, yeah, man, the sky's the limit for Malachi. He balled out last year. Him and Jalen Lloyd. It's a dynamic duo for years to come. So I feel really good about Malachi. Feel really good about him. I think he's probably going to be wide receiver 4 going into the season. Again, I think Jamal Banks is your number 1, Jalen Lloyd number 2, Isaiah Nair, number 3, and then Malachi will be your 4. So that'll be pretty good for him. I'd say 17 at 7-0. You think we'll be ranked 17? No way. No way. We will be ranked higher than 17, absolutely. That's not even a debate. That's okay, hold on. Just for fun. I'll come back to the comment section. Just for fun, let's take it right here. Okay. I'm going to go and look at the AP poll from last year, week 7. Or let's go. And let's see how many undefeated teams there were. Okay, this is when there were 7 games played. In the country, how many undefeated teams were there? And looking through this, not including Air Force, like Power 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we will be top 10 if we are undefeated after 7 games. There will not be more than 10 undefeated squads. Guarantee you that. We are not going to be 17. We're not. We are not. All right, let's go back to the comment section here. But I think 5-2 is your prediction. Yeah, I think so too. That's probably more realistic. Judy says, I don't think last year's a good indicator. This year is all about Rhule's picks, and we have better players, in my opinion. Well, it's not even about the players we had last year. It's about the fact that he made a lot of bad in-game decisions. He didn't take timeouts when needed. His clock management was awful. I mean, it was horrendous. Like, just being real. The Maryland clock management, man, it was about as bad as it could possibly get. Michigan State was the exact same way. And one thing that I'm forever scarred about when we're talking about Matt Rhule is the fact that he completely botched the quarterback situation last year. Okay, our best quarterback in 2023 was Chubba Purdy. It was Chubba Purdy. Chubba Purdy was our third string quarterback. It took until the Wisconsin game to actually start this guy. But we had to run out there, and have Jeff Sims for the first couple weeks. And then we had Heinrich Haarberg for the longest time. And I get it, Chubba Purdy got banged up in fall ball, but the second he was healthy, he should have got on the field. Nathan says, just for fun, volleyball predictions, national championship. Yeah, I think the sky's the limit. I'm hoping for a national title. Listen, volleyball is very similar to basketball, in which you need to make a run in December. You need to make a run in that tournament. This team is really, really good. I mean, we are just better than last year. Nobody left that was really of importance. There's obviously a big storyline with Harper Murray. Having some legal issues, but I think national championship, I think we're the betting favorite right now, or at least close to it. I think we'll make the Final Four. That's for sure. But I'm not gonna say anything more than that. Not gonna say anything more than that. Lindsay says, "What about people who got injured in the spring game? Do you have any info on them?" Yeah. So 2 guys got injured in the spring game. Very similar injuries. One was more severe than the other. The first one was Bly Hill. He had a knee injury. From reports, he should be back by fall practice in late July. So that's good news. It seems like worst case scenario with him, he'll be back August. And then Demetrius Bell is the other one. He had a more severe knee injury. It wasn't necessarily an ACL, but from what it looks like, he'll be out for the year. So, man, I was devastated to hear that. I love Demetrius Bell, man. I think he's going to be a really good player. So, we'll see. Axon says, how many 4-stars do you think we land in the 2025 class? Keep in mind, guys like Lofton, Antonio Brantz, all those guys. Okay, let's run through it, man. Let's do it. Let's run through it. Right off the bat, let's talk about Chase Lofton, Christian Jones. I think we'll land one of those guys. I don't think we'll land both. I do not think we will land both. So let's share my screen here. And let's go through it. Let's just go through some of the guys that we are interested in. Okay. So we'll have one right now with Christian Jones or Chase Lofton. I don't think we'll get both. Antonio Branch, it looks like he's being trended to Nebraska. So I'll count him. That's 2. Jamarion Parker, that's 3. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna go by offer list. Michael Terry, that's 4. I do think Michael Terry will commit to us by the way it looks. And then let's go down the line. I think Corey Sims, unfortunately, I don't think will commit to us. Again, I already talked about Chase Lofton. So right now we're at 4. I guess 5. 5 including Michael Terry, or not Michael Terry, including TJ Lateef. So we're sitting at 5. Some other guys. I think Broderick Schultz, we're not going to land him, but I think we're in the mix. We have a chance, but I wouldn't project that right now. Houston Kayana Torres. I can't remember if he's a 4-star according to any recruiting site. He's close. I think we'll land him. And then Dawson Merritt, that's 6. Forgot Dawson Merritt. And then, of course, there's going to be a couple guys that pop up in the recruiting process later down the line that we haven't even heard of yet. Like, that happens every single year. Like, we'll get to December, and we might flip a guy or two who we previously had not heard about at all. Jalen Williams, I don't think we'll land him. Cade. Let's see what's going on with Cade. I actually haven't heard about him in a while. Ooh, Oklahoma's going after him. Has he scheduled any visits? Let me know, accent. That'll be a tough get. But what am I at right now? 6? What am I at? 6. So I think that'll probably be my prediction, 6. And that's not great. That really isn't great. I don't think we get Curie with the way it's going in that recruiting process. 6 is not awesome. It really isn't. You're ideally looking for about 10 a cycle. But that's a really good question. That's a good question. But I think there's probably going to be guys that we pop up out of nowhere. Again, when we get to fall, when we get to December, we might flip a guy or two. So with that being said, probably we might get 1 or 2, 3, 4 stars in that way. So I could see 6, probably at worst. At best, probably 10. Probably 10 or 11. So, yep, that's a really good question, accent. But honestly, I was looking over this recruiting class earlier today. And I do not love this recruiting class. Like, let's just pull it up right now. I don't love this recruiting class for Nebraska. Like, I like TJ Lateef. Do not get me wrong. But the rest of the guys here are just Nebraska guys and project players, in my opinion. Like Tyson Terry, solid. He's not a world beater, but he's solid. Jackson Carpenter's a project. He's kind of like, I think Jackson Carpenter, to be completely real with you, has a low ceiling. I think he has a high floor, but a low ceiling. Like, he's not going to be an all Big Ten player. Caden Vermoss, I think he has a high ceiling, low floor. Bryson Hayes, same deal there. Low floor, but very high ceiling. That could be an NFL player with his speed, with his 4.2 speed. Connor Booth, man. I wasn't in love with this addition at all, to be completely real. Barry Tenney's a good addition. And then Tanner Turk, that's just a standard Matt Rhule addition where, yeah, he's very raw. He runs a good 40 time, but he's not really heavily recruited. I'm not in love with this recruiting class. Like, there's a bunch of project players, in my opinion. So we need to get some 4-star guys, and we need to get them quick. Hold on. All right. Let's take it back to the chat. Holy cow. I'm behind here. Okay. Hard to make good in-game decisions with the type of inconsistency at quarterback, to be fair. But here's the thing. Quarterback play does not impact clock management. And quarterback play does not impact taking timeouts to the right situation. That was really the thing that bugged me the most. And we lost games because of that. The Wisconsin game. Oh my gosh. The Wisconsin game, Matt Rhule just botched because he ran the clock all the way down. He decided to take a field goal to send it to overtime. Gosh, that was terrible by Matt Rhule. That was so bad. He botched that game too. Again, I love Matt Rhule, and I don't want to come off like a pessimist. But a lot of times when we're sitting here in May and we're sitting here in June, it's really easy to just highlight the positive stuff. And that's why we always sit here and say, oh, Nebraska, Kool-Aid, offseason national title champions, because we don't ever focus on the bad things. But Matt Rhule loses a lot of football games because of his in-game decisions. And that's something that I'm going to be really focusing on going into the fall. Justin says, I think Matt Rhule really wanted Sims to work and knew that he had talent, but couldn't get him right mentally. I mean, maybe. But I just think Jeff Sims was a terrible quarterback. I mean, yeah, the mental aspect is very true. But Jeff Sims was not a good quarterback. He's not as gifted as we thought he was. He cannot throw the ball more than 45 yards in the air. Okay? He cannot read defenses. He's not accurate. His spiral was awful. Like, I don't understand what Matt Rhule saw in that guy. Don't understand it. I put that dude at running back. See, he is not a quarterback, man. You're underestimating how big of a difference a competent quarterback makes. How many games do we lose because of quarterback alone? Every game but Michigan? Well, yeah, we lost games because of quarterback, but we also lost games because of Matt Rhule. I mean, two can be true. We lost games because of a multitude of factors. You don't lose football games because of one reason alone. So, yeah. You're right. Quarterback play was bad, but so is Matt Rhule in game. What are the odds of picking up the safety we were after in the portal? Again, I don't like our odds with Mangum. I'd say about 25, maybe even 20%. Again, Ohio State, Michigan's going after him. He's a Michigan guy. He was born and raised in Michigan. I think he commits to the Wolverines. Houston is the industry high 3-star. He's getting bumped up, though. Yeah, he does really good at camps, at rivals camps, on-3 camps. He's doing really good. So I think he might get up to a 4-star range. I wasn't sure if he's already been there. So, yeah. Do you think we could get that guy from Oklahoma? Which guy? Somebody let me know who that guy is. Oklahoma. A recruit from Oklahoma? Hold on, let me run through. Oklahoma top recruits. Are you talking about the portal? Because I don't think we're going after a portal guy at all from Oklahoma. Here we go. Top players from Oklahoma. Yeah. Broderick Scholl. Yeah, from Bixby. Okay, that's what you're talking about. Yeah. Man, that's gonna be a hard battle. I love Broderick Scholl, though. He's such a good prospect. Hey, shout out to my man Justin again, Nebraska Voice of College Football. He made a great video talking about Broderick Scholl. If you haven't watched that, go to his channel. Accent says, we're in Cade's top 4. You're right. I remember seeing that now on Twitter. Yeah, that's going to be a tough battle for him, man. It's going to be a tough battle. Bold prediction. Nebraska will have a top 15 recruiting class for 2024 despite having a relatively small class. I see 2 5-stars and multiple 4-stars. Who's the other 5-star? I mean, obviously, I think you're banking on Michael Terry committing, but who's the other 5-star? Because I don't think we're in the mix for any other 5-stars. Besides, of course, David Sanders. And to be completely real with you, I don't think we're going to land David Sanders at all. I don't think the odds are good, man. I really don't. I like that we got him on campus, but I don't like the rest of it. Do you think Rhule's philosophy of building from within, or do you like Rhule's philosophy of building from within, or do you feel like they need to make more splash in the transfer portal for more veteran-type players? I think 2 can be true at the exact same time. I think, yeah, I really do like his high school philosophy. It's completely different than something that, Lane Kiffin does or something that Deion Sanders does. And I think that's the way that you actually need to build college football programs. But at the exact same time, I do agree that Matt Rhule probably should be a little bit more active in the portal. I think we have some holes on this team. I think we have a hole right now in the secondary. I think we have a hole right now at tight end. I think we might even have a hole at running back. So, yeah, I would have liked it if he was a little bit more active in the portal, but it's not really groundbreaking. I like where his head's at when it comes to high school recruiting. He knows what's important. Let's see here. That's what coach is known for, getting quality athletes and turning them into ballers. Second and third years are where Rhule makes major leaps. You're completely right. Yeah, he's a developer through and through. And this is the thing I talk about Matt Rhule. Okay, he has never been a great recruiter. Okay, he had success at Temple and Baylor with top 40 recruiting classes, top 50 recruiting classes. Compare his elite development to elite recruiting. That's going to, make a 10, 11, 12 win program. So that's what I'm excited about when it comes to Matt Rhule. Our quarterback play was horrendous. Need clutch quarterback play to win those close games. You're right, man. You need a clutch quarterback, and we haven't had that since Tommy Armstrong. That was our last clutch quarterback. And he wasn't really that clutch, but man, we've lost so many games. Like Adrian Martinez, love Adrian, but he was about as terrible in clutch time as it could get. Yeah, so we need Dylan to be clutch. Yeah, Broderick Scholl. Yep. Recruiting machine highlights Dylan and Coach White. What are you talking about? What do you mean? What do you mean? Accent says 2 5-stars could happen if we add a guy during the actual football season. Like a guy taking his process super slow. Doubt it, though. Listen, here's my thing about that. Every single 5-star commits in the summer. Every single one of them. This is the new signing day, basically. is May, June, July. There is not really going to be a 5-star that commits in December. It's not really going to happen because everybody's trying to get their spot with the transfer portal. So I don't think so. I think Michael Terry's going to be your 5-star, and we might not get another one. But I'm cool with one 5-star, guys. I don't think we should get greedy. We have no business getting greedy. Dylan Raiola was our first 5-star in more than half a decade, 15 years, something like that. We're in no place to get greedy about that. How do I think our field goal unit will do this year? Awful. If I'm going to be completely real with you, I'm nervous as heck, dude. Tristan Alvano, with his spring game performance, with how he did last year, I have no confidence in him going into 2024. Now, I think he could be a good kicker in the long haul. Not this year. Not this year. And we only have one other kicker on the roster. I think he's a true freshman, Nico something. His last name, can't pronounce it, but he's not going to be ready either. So don't feel good about it, to be completely real with you. Don't feel good. Are there any that you think, what are your thoughts for Lindsay, man? Who do you think I could get for the 2025 class? I basically went through them. Again, Broderick Scholl's the guy. I think Michael Terry is going to be our number one guy to go after. Chase Lofton, Christian Jones. Those are the type of players that we're trying to get. It's going to be busy, man. We're going after a lot of dudes from Hawaii, a lot of dudes from the West Coast. Did you make a schedule prediction yet? So that's funny. We were doing that earlier in the broadcast. We were talking about the first 7 games. I might post one like later down the line, probably in the summertime, but I think it's just too early to start talking about that in detail, in my opinion. All right. You guys keep putting stuff in the comment section. I'm going to ask you guys a question, though. Do you guys enjoy these live streams? Again, I'm going to try to probably do something along the lines of this once every week, maybe once every 2 weeks. This summer, man, there's going to be a lot of recruiting stuff to talk about, so we're going to absolutely need to have this to get everybody up to pace, man. It's a lot of fun for me. I love talking to you guys live. Again, it's cool in the comment section, but talking to you guys live is definitely what is pretty great about YouTube. Jake says, we need another kicker. Absolutely we do. Will we finally have a punt return game? Yeah, there's a couple of guys who I want to put back there. Isaiah Morris, true freshman. I really hope that we could put him back there, at least try him out. Ethan Nation, of course, really dynamic athlete. A lot of true freshmen. Jacory Barney, of course. So I think we will, but let's see. We have to see it, man. They're a bunch of young guys. Jeremiah Charles, another dude. So dynamic athletes, can they catch the football? Because we've had a lot of problem with muffing. Okay, we've had athletes back there. See, the reason why we haven't had a good punt return game is because we've had a lot of muffing issues. So we put guys back there like, I believe Alex Bullock was back there. We have, basically these non-dynamic guys because, we just need to go up there and fair catch it. And they're sure-handed. So, yep. Yeah, a lot of good feedback here about the live streams. Yeah, dude. Again, I love the live streams. I think they're a lot of fun. And hopefully we'll try to do this throughout the summer and going into the season because it's just good chopping it up. You guys are chopping it up in the comment section. I'm talking about to you guys, so I think that's really fun. He says, how do you feel about the linebacker room? We have a relatively young room there. Love the live streams. Yeah, that linebacker room, super talented. And I'm banking on Stephon Thompson being your one there, being your starter. And then number 2, John Bullock's in the mix. Mekhi Gabayer's in the mix. Buda Wright's in the mix. Yeah, there's a lot of young players, but those young players, man, they're super gifted. And, hey, Vincent Shavers, true freshman, that's my guy. So, yeah, it's super young, but the talent is through the roof. This is the most talented the linebacker room has been in, I'd say, 5, 6, 7 years. Okay, because last year's room was good, don't get me wrong, with Luke Reimer, Nick Henrich, and they were fine ball players, but they didn't move the needle. They weren't athletically gifted. Okay, time and time again, they got exploited in the run game because they weren't fast. Okay, they weren't great running laterally. Yeah, they were sure tacklers, but that was about it. And they weren't good in the pass game either. So that's what's different about this linebacker room is that they have high ceilings. And that I feel like a lot of dudes that we have in there, whether it's a Mekhi Gabayer, whether it's a Buda Wright, whether it's a Vincent Shavers, we're talking about players who could be all Big Ten. We're talking about guys who could be in the NFL. That's what's different. So got to trust our development there. How is the punter? Yeah, so Brian Buschini's coming back next year. I'm not in love with Brian Buschini. Again, he was good in 2022 when he transferred in from Montana. He was horrendous last year. He was horrendous. I mean, he had a couple boots that were about 20 yards, 15 yards. I think he had a 10-yarder in there. So Brian Buschini, man, not great, but hopefully we won't be punting much in 2024. Go Big Red. Go Big Red. Jake says, how do you think Colorado's DBs compare to our wide receivers? I like Colorado's secondary. I think it's really tough. Yeah, they lost Cormani McLean, but their secondary is really good. It's really deep. And that's what you'd expect from a Deion Sanders coach squad. That's going to be the best position group on the squad. Listen, Travis Hunter is the best cornerback in college football. I know we hate Colorado, but I'm going to admit that. He's a stud. Dude's a stud. He's really, really talented. He's a better cornerback than any wide receiver we have. Like, he's going to shut down Jamal Banks, in my opinion. He's going to shut down Malaka Coleman. He's going to shut down Jalen Lloyd. That's how good of a player he is. I think their secondary is really good, but I think our receivers are just as good. It's just going to come down to, it's going to come down to our offensive schematics and Glenn Thompson getting those guys open. Because last year, man, Marcus Satterfield, horrendous. We had no vertical passing game. Do you think this wide receiver room might be the best Nebraska's ever had? Well, it's tough to say, but short answer is no. No. And I think it's way too early to say that because a lot of the guys that we have are wild cards, right? Obviously, Jamal Banks is a stud. He's produced before, but we're talking about Isaiah Nair. He hasn't produced in 2 years. Mike Coleman, Jalen Lloyd, they're going into the second year of college, and then we have a bunch of guys who really aren't proven. So it's a good receiver room, but they still have a lot to prove, just like the rest of the team. So, no, the best receiver room we ever had, in my opinion, was around 2014, 2015, I think maybe even went into 2016, where we had guys like Kenny Bell, Quincy Enunwa, Stanley Morgan. We had J.D. Spielman later down the line. Man, we had so many good receivers. We had Alonzo Moore. Gosh, those receiver cores were stacked for Nebraska. And we had DeMornay Pearsonell. That was one of my favorite players growing up, man. Do not punt when you have DeMornay Pearsonell back there because he's going to take it to the crib. So, no, I don't think it is. But those 2014, 2015, 2016 receiver rooms, those were different, man. Those were really good. Do you think we have any freshman All-Americans other than Raiola? That's what Cam and Princewell won. Yeah, so, Cam and Princewell won a couple of those. I think Cam got honorable mention. Princewell got, he got All-American by PFF. So, Dylan, I think, is going to probably be in the mix for All-American freshman. I think besides him, Vincent Shavers, again, I'm super high on him. And other than that, I don't really see it. Like Carter Nelson, I don't think is going to be one because I don't think he's going to play too much freshman year. Wide receivers, we have some good true freshman wide receivers, but I don't think they're going to play. O linemen, none of them are going to play. D linemen, probably not going to play. So besides Dylan Raiola, it's probably going to be Vincent Shavers. I'll throw in another name. Larry Tarver's my third. I love Larry Tarver. He's been producing practice time and time again. So that's the other guy. I don't think he's going to be an All-American, but he'll be in the mix. But probably not. It'll probably just be Raiola. And that's a good thing. That means you have studs above them. You know, if you're playing a bunch of true freshmen, that your team probably isn't very good, to be completely real with you. Judy says, if we can get to a bowl game this year, I have confidence we'll be good next year. Oh, yeah. We're like 2025 is going to be crazy. Like, that'll probably be the most hyped up Nebraska season of our lifetime. Like, if we win 8-9 games, go and get a Dylan Raiola second year, whoo, watch out, guys. Watch out. That 97 team is as touted as the best team ever by many. I think you're referring to the 95 team. Yeah, that 95 team was really good, but the 95 receiver squad was not very good. Like, they had some studs there at receiver, but we weren't passing the ball. We didn't have a vertical offense as much as we do now. So, yeah. Accent says, 2012 had Kyler Reed, Ben Conn, Westerkamp. Yo, forgot about Westerkamp. Alonzo Moore, Tariq Allen, Jamal Turner. Yep, Jamal Turner, bro. Brandon Riley. Yup, those are some good names, dude. Yup. Those, again, that run from 2012 to about 2016, we had just some baller receiver rooms, man. Like, it was ridiculous. Man, we were stacked. Absolutely stacked. Yeah, Brandon Riley's a good name. Hey, shout out. I don't know if you guys remember this. The Michigan State game, I want to say that was 2015, where Brandon Riley caught that touchdown pass. We knocked off undefeated Michigan State. I remember I was listening to that game on the radio actually, with my dad. We were in the living room, and I still remember Greg Sharp's call for that one. I was going crazy. I was going ballistic. I didn't know what was going on. They were like, "Oh, they're reviewing something?" Man, that was one of the best games of my life. One of the best games of my life. And then, of course, we got to talk about the GOAT, Jordan Westerkamp, for 2013 Northwestern. Jordan Westerkamp on the final play of the game. Nebraska wins. Man, that was wild. That was awesome. I have some good memories of those receiver corps, just in those teams in general, man. Like, again, I feel jealous when there's people in my comment section, who are born, in the 70s, born in the 60s, and they got to see peak Nebraska. Like, I'm 18 years old. The best season I've ever seen in Nebraska, that I really remember was probably 2016, probably 2014. Like, I've really been alive for the bad part of Nebraska. So I feel like these wins mean a lot more to me. And I don't want to downplay you guys who are older, watching my stream, but I've never seen good wins. I've never seen a good team. So when we do win, it just means that much more to me because we've been bad my entire life, man. We've been bad. What do you think Nebraska could use more of? Cornerbacks. Our secondary is not very good, in my opinion. Besides, like, the safeties are good, the corners are not good. We need some more corners. With being so young, what defense do you think will be? Okay, hold on. Say that again. With being so young, what defense do you think will be our bread and butter? Like, what part of the defense will be our bread and butter? Or what aspect of it are we going to thrive in? Again, I think our run game is really good when it comes to our defense. Like, our D-line, run stoppers. Ty Robinson, he's not very good in the passing game, but, man, he's stop and run consistently. Nash, same deal there. Cameron Lenhart, same deal there. That D-line's a brick wall. And then you got guys there in the running game at that linebacker spot. Stephon Thompson, historically, is a run-stopping linebacker. John Bullock, same deal there. So I think we're going to be really good stopping the run. To answer your question, my parents went to that game and left early. Yeah. A noon one, 99-yard TD versus Georgia in the Gator Bowl. Yeah, dude, that's a throwback. That was a great moment. Man, what are some other really good moments from my lifetime? Nebraska versus Iowa, 2014. Kenny Bell catching that touchdown pass in the corner in overtime. That was a great memory. Man, there hasn't been much, dude, in my life. Again, Northwestern 2013. Beating Ohio State 2012 was a great memory. Not much more, dude. Not much more. I'm 75. I'm thrilled beyond belief for our Huskers. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, you got to see all the good stuff. I mean, even when Bob Devaney was at Nebraska. So that's awesome. Again, I unfortunately not as lucky as you are. Tried big board in 1979. Lived through getting to bowl games but losing. Well, I mean, you still got to see, like growing up when you were in your teenage years, you still got to see Nebraska win natties. So yeah, it could be worse. Could be worse. But I'm just jealous. That's all. I'm just jealous. What was your first Husker game? That's hard to say. That I don't remember. Probably around 2009. I went to a spring game when I was really young. I want to say it was actually against like Arkansas State. I want to say it was against Arkansas State. I could be wrong. It was a non-con game. Let me pull this up because I want to answer your question. It might have been 2009, 2010. And I remember I left early at this game too. Just for good measure. Might have been even 2011. Yeah, I don't remember. Unfortunately, I don't remember. I think it was against Arkansas State. If anybody wants to pull up when we played Arkansas State. But I don't know what year that was. I think it was it was 2009. Yep. So yeah, we played Arkansas State 2009, and yeah, that was my first ever Nebraska football game. So, yeah. Yep, that was my first. Hold on, is the stream lag? Oh, I'm trying to. Hold on, let me know down below. Is the stream lagging for you guys at all? Because it's kind of being a little shaky for me. Chris, do you think the South Stadium will be done? They're not tearing it up right now. It's still looking perfect. So basically what they're doing with the stadium is they're ripping up the stadium after the 2024 season. So they're going to rip it up, and then it'll be all messed up for 2025, and then it'll be good to go by 2026. So yeah, that's what the plan is, but we will still have South Stadium this year. TJ will make Nebraska proud. I'm now officially a Cornhusker now. Yeah, appreciate that, man. I'm looking forward to him. I'm looking forward to TJ Lateef, dude. Number 13 with our strength of schedule. Lagging for me, never mind. It's lagging. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, guys. Again, I'm trying something new today, so it might be lagging just a little bit. Just a little bit, but I think when I switch the page on my laptop here, it might lag just a tiny bit. Anyways, keep putting stuff in the comment section. I'll try to keep this live stream going for about maybe 5-10 more minutes. Again, let me know. Once again, we're trying to do this maybe about every single week. Again, also, I want to talk to you guys about this. I'm very, very, very thankful for 3,000 subscribers here on the Wilson Sports page. Big milestone. Okay, it's been a grind last couple months, dude, producing all this content. I'm talking about Nebraska recruiting, talking about practice, talking about rumors. So I'm very grateful for all you guys. Man, I mean, it's just awesome. It's just awesome building a community. So want to thank you guys for 3,000. But yeah, keep putting stuff in the comment section. We'll try to keep this going. Usually want these lives to be about 90 minutes. So yeah, man, it's been a good live today. Really, really been a good live. One second, I'm trying to pull something up. Well, this is, I love your shows, man. I appreciate that. I absolutely appreciate that. All right, guys. I think we're probably going to get out of here. Hope you guys enjoy your week. Again, we're going to have a lot of content coming out over the next couple weeks going into the summer. So I appreciate everybody who's always tuning in. So watch out for that. But, guys, drop a Go Big Red in the comment section below. Make sure to like the stream if you haven't already. Hey, if you're watching the stream somehow and you're not subscribed, hit that sub button. I mean, come on. Nobody on Husker YouTube is producing as much content. I'm making a video almost every single day, guys. So hit that sub button if you haven't already. But as always, guys, go Big Red, go Rhule, and see you in the next one. Hold on. There we go.